So you're in the research phase of your Florida relocation. Great! You're comparing the West Coast to the East Coast, and you're probably also comparing Sarasota, Tampa, and Naples. Am I right? Well, today I'm going to give you the top 5 reasons why people are choosing to move to Sarasota. Well, hey, my name is Matt Light. I actually moved here over 20 years ago from Massachusetts, and now my wife, 3 kids, and myself live here in Sarasota, and we've helped over 120 families move here just like you, and I wanted to share with you 5 reasons why people are choosing Sarasota over some of the other areas. And at the end of this video, I will share a resource with you that's really gonna help you with your understanding of the 7 different areas of Sarasota and help you decide really if Sarasota's right for you. So number 1, let's talk about the weather. Let's be honest. The minute that first cold snap happened where you're currently living, you're gonna hit the accelerator in doing your research about moving to Florida. And here's what our average temperature is for those of you looking to be snowbirds. In December, it's 74 degrees. Now watch out. In January, we get really cold. It gets on average about 71 degrees. February, 74. March is 77. And then April, we start to heat up a little bit and our average temperature is 82 degrees. Yes, in the summer, it definitely gets hot and humid. Here are the temperatures for our hottest months on average, because I know a lot of you want to know how hot is hot. In June, on average, it's 89 degrees. July is 90, August is 90, and then September, it drops back down to 89 degrees. And if you're like me, you would much rather be in a warmer climate rather than need to wear a bunch of layers in wool. Can I give you a quick personal story? I have family that still lives in Massachusetts, and last year, my wife and I were planning on bringing our kids up in February for them to see snow for the very first time. And it was so much work. I mean, the amount of wool, gloves, hats, boots, just layers in general that you have to think about is absolutely crazy. Here in Florida, I only have one wardrobe and I pretty much wear the same clothes year round. Did you know that we have around 300 days of sunshine per year? So if you're tired of the rainy days, the rainy weeks, or the rainy months, Sarasota should certainly be on the top of your list to relocate to. Number 2, our outdoor activities. You probably do the same thing when you travel somewhere that I do, and that's you Google, right? You Google things to do in blank, things to do in Sarasota, or if you're visiting Albany, things to do in Albany, New York. Well, in Sarasota, there are a ton of real things to do, not just stuff that's online out there just to get clicks and blogs and advertisements and all this other stuff. We have so many beaches, which we're gonna get into in just a minute, but there's golfing, pickleball, and if you haven't heard of pickleball, come on, just jump on the bandwagon because it is fantastic. You're gonna love it. Tennis, biking, state parks, boating, jet skiing, parasailing, windsurfing, fishing, not to mention some of our top attractions such as the Van Wezel Performing Arts Center, Bayfront Park with a kids splash pad, playground, and walking path. You got Moat Marine Aquarium, and of course, like I said earlier, you get 300 of the most beautiful sunsets that you can find anywhere in the world. The list literally continues, and I actually put the top attractions with photos on my website. If you wanted to jump over there, I'll provide that in the video description below as well. Now, number 3, the beaches. Now, unlike Tampa and other areas of Florida, where you still have to drive 45 minutes to a beach, Sarasota has so many different beach options for you to choose from. Obviously, I'm sure you've heard of Siesta Key Beach, which is consistently ranked as one of the top beaches in the world. And speaking of Siesta Key, I have a funny story for you. Since I grew up here in Sarasota, Siesta Key was pretty much all I knew of what a beach was. And then I went to college on the east coast of Florida at Florida Atlantic University, and I remember going to the beach for the first time, over there in Boca Raton with some friends. And when we got there, it was like really brown sand. The beach wasn't very long, and I thought they were joking. I remember asking them, so guys, where actually is the beach? And yeah, I realized that I was pretty much spoiled with growing up with Siesta Key right in my backyard. But some of our other incredible beaches are Lido Beach, Nokomis Beach, Venice Beach, and you get a ton of beach accesses along Longboat Key. And I've actually done some pretty incredible videos on each of these beaches. And in those videos, I talk about the beach amenities, parking, restrooms, because that's important, and the essentials that you're gonna wanna know. So make sure to check those out at some point if you're coming to visit or interested in looking at some of our beaches. Moving on, number 4 of why people are choosing Sarasota is restaurants. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would not really consider myself a foodie or someone that tries out a lot of different restaurants. I mean, I've got 3 super young kids, and many of you who have kids can remember how challenging that can be at times to go to restaurants, but we do have a plethora of options in Sarasota, and one of my favorites is called Dry Dock. It's right on Longboat Key, right on the water, and it makes for a fantastic date night for my wife and I love the atmosphere out on the water, the freshly caught fish makes for an amazing entree every single time. And I mean, some of our food here in Sarasota has been award-winning and featured on the Food Network. And if you've visited Sarasota before, let me know in the comments below which restaurant is your favorite, because I would love to check it out. Now, number 5, schools. For those of you with school-aged kids, schools is a pretty big reason why families will land on Sarasota being a spot to relocate to. I moved here when we were going into 3rd grade, and originally my parents bought down south in Cape Coral. But before we actually moved, they decided that they were gonna sell that and buy in Sarasota because the schools were that much better. Sarasota is home to a large number of A-rated schools. We also have the #1 school in the state of Florida called Pineview. Also, Sarasota County pays their teachers a higher average salary than most other counties in the state of Florida. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, you probably are pretty serious about learning more about Sarasota and if it's right for you and your family. And I've put together a relocation guide just for you. And in this guide, I talk about the different areas of Sarasota, what it's like to live there, and what are the things around that specific location. It's really helpful if you're trying to gather more info and information on Sarasota, so click the link in the video description below and you can download that today for free. Now listen, if you found some value in this video, would you do me a favor and give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel? I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you have specific questions about Sarasota or Sarasota real estate, my team and I would love to assist you. Just go ahead and shoot me over an email at info@mattlight.com. And if you've enjoyed this video, you'll love my video about best places to live in Sarasota, Florida, because I break down the different areas that you can live here in Sarasota. So check that out. I'll link that up here in the top, and I'll see you in the next one.